So, that was Nehrim, and since we're now on to the credits, I believe it's time that I start talking about my thoughts on the game. And yes, I said game, because as far as I'm concerned, Nehrim is as good as a lot of full release titles. Almost. There are a few points where it definitely falls down in some polished things, but I would put it on a level with some AAA releases. That's how much I enjoyed it. So, Nehrim was, without a doubt, one of the best stories I have ever played, full stop, and one of the big reasons I enjoyed it so much, honestly, would have to be that it, to use a dumb phrase I've heard surrounding a movie that I don't acknowledge the existence of, subverted my expectations, because it was unpredictable in a good way, is the thing, because the story was definitely not your typical fantasy fare, and I loved that. Just how everything could change all of a sudden and be just completely different. That was excellent. Just how fast things could unfold differently made for an amazing story, and the characters were really cool, and also, and I know I'm saying "and" a lot, it did a great job of going from I like this character, I think he's pretty cool in terms of how I was thinking about it, to okay, this guy's a dick, I don't like him anymore. So the unfolding of how characters were behaving and how I thought about them was done in a really great way, and I loved it. So the other thing is that it was kind of interesting how they decided to switch up the leveling mechanic from the traditional Oblivion and Elder Scrolls method of you gain experience by doing things to just straight up you get experience points, like how it is in Fallout and your typical RPGs. It's an interesting change, but I can't say it's a bad one, because I think it worked out very well for Nehrim. Not to mention the fact that the world does not level to you, which I definitely prefer, because it made it possible to run into things that were far above your level and just be completely out of your league. I cut out a lot of the less interesting stuff, but there were a few instances where I got attacked by these uber-powerful wolves up in the north, and because I was supposed to be like level 16 to take them on, and I was only level 11, they completely dominated us and just tore me to shreds, so I had to run the entire way to that fortress monastery in order to avoid the wolves. Which, it was just a great moment that highlighted how the not leveling things made it so awesome. As well as that, there was a side quest I did off camera, which I really wish I'd done on camera. It was one of those bounty missions where I was hunting down this guy. I think his name was the Butcher, and I'm fairly certain that was a Diablo 3 reference. Because he had corpses lining the walls everywhere, heads in jars, and things like that. And he was probably about 3 times as big as Karina was. Not to mention the fact that he had a giant spiked club, if I remember correctly. So this guy was basically as close to a demon as you're going to get in Nehrim, essentially, and this was from a fucking side quest. It's the things like that that are totally unexpected, but done in a really cool way that made me love Nehrim, just because they do the unexpected in a good way. They make it they surprise you in interesting ways you don't expect. They don't just throw out, haha, surprise! You are surprised, therefore this is good. They don't do that sort of thing. They make it interesting because the surprises add to the narrative and enrich the backstory and the plot as a whole. And that just makes it so much better. I really thoroughly enjoyed playing this. Now, to what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be moving away from doing multiple Bethesda RPGs at the same time, just because I want to have room to do some shorter stuff, and not just on the Sundays with Mega Man Battle Network. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing this with Dishonored, which will be followed up with Dishonored 2. Well, it'll be followed up by the Outsider DLC, which will be followed up by Dishonored 2, but same deal, right? In any case, that's going to be what I will do next. So, the thing I wanted to mention also is, I know there's a few story bits that I did not quite get to. There's one side quest line that shows up after the main story is done, where you can go off to Arct and start learning more about being a shadow god. I may do a little mini-series where I go over that, but it's not a huge priority. In any case, thank you so much for watching this series. I've appreciated everyone who decided to give this a watch. I know Nehrim is not exactly the most mainstream thing ever, but I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. And to answer one question I'm sure I will be getting, because this is just a natural thing to ask. Yes, I will be playing Enderall at some point, but it will probably be a while. And I probably will not be doing whatever the mod in this universe is for Morrowind for a very long time, if I ever do, because I have yet to beat Morrowind, and I want to beat the main game before I start doing crazy overhaul mods. Anyways, this is it for this series, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again for whatever video of mine you decide to watch next. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much for watching.